Hello dear all, you are welcome to SSB Pharma Learning Channel. I Dr. Shamsher Singh today going to discuss with you the GPAT question series part 26. Hope like previous video it will also be very useful for you because it contain number of new tricks as well as the basic explanation that how to attempt GPAT and what are the different questions that can be there for the GPAT exam. So the first trick of this GPAT series is sulfonamide common characteristics. You can remember it by this code word false university. So how you can remember it? Sulfonamide F indicate folic acid synthesis inhibitor. So you always know that they convert PABA to folic acid in the presence of enzyme dihydrofolate reductase. So it means they inhibit the folic acid synthesis by inhibiting the enzyme dihydrofolate reductase. Next thing, they are analog of PABA. L indicate large spectrum because they act on gram negative as well as some gram positive also. Steven Johnson, H indicates Steven Johnson syndrome. So Steven Johnson syndrome where there is a allergy in the body, affect to the skin, mucous membrane, lips, hands, feet. So this type of the allergic reaction which affect the because there is a redness and small red patches which are appeared over the skin. It can be reddish brown or like red. So sulfonamide cause Steven Johnson syndrome. Epidermal necrolysis. They damage to the epidermis after this disorder or even the long-term use can cause this. And you indicate urine precipitation are used for urinary tract infection. So that's why you know that due to this urinary precipitation, because their crystals are precipitated inside the urine, that's why due to this reason, this sulfonamide was preferred to treat UTI, urinary tract infection, because other drugs they cannot reach there and they are even though eliminated out after metabolism. So this is the reason that they were preferred, even though they are the sulfonamide means sulfo containing compound, sulfoamine. They are also called as sulfoamine sulfonamides. So this is the new trick which you can use, false university. So the next question for this series is, which of the following is a phase 2 drug metabolizing reaction? So the options are acetylation, deamination, hydrolysis, and oxidation. So you choose the right answer or comment in the box. The right answer for this question is acetylation. So you know that acetylation is the process which is useful to metabolize aspirin, dapsone, clarithromycin. So that means number of drug they are acetylated in the body, and the one of the common example is aspirin and dapsone. So they are acetylated in the body in the phase 2 reaction of metabolism in the liver. So this is the right option. The next question is Ames test is a method for detecting. Options are carcinogenesis in rodents, carcinogenesis in other primates, teratogenesis in any mammalian species, and mutagenesis in the bacteria. So you choose the right option for this question. The right option is mutagenesis in the bacteria. So this question can be rotated in the GPAT in such a way that they can ask you which is a in vitro test used to find DNA mutation. the question can be asked in this way, that which is the in vitro test used to find the DNA mutation? The answer is AMIS test. The next question is, which test is performed to check the carcinogenic property of any compound before in vivo testing? Again, option will be AMIS test. So the question I will repeat again, which test is performed to detect the cancerous property of any drug or a compound before in vivo animal investigation? The answer is AMIS test. So this AMIS test was given by one of the scientists who was scientist in the WHO approximately in 1970 around. So this was the test which is nowadays very commonly preferred for the mutagenesis or DNA mutation in the bacteria and some other culture. Next question is dash dash is expressed in both the intestine epithelium and in the kidney. The options are CYP cytochrome P2D6, CYP1A1 2, CYP2E1 and CYP3A4. So you can remember which is the particular cytochrome P enzyme which is present in intestine and kidney. You choose the right option. The right option is CYP3A. So this question can be there in the GPAT. Which of this enzyme is present in intestine, kidney and liver? Again the option is CYP3A4. This is also present in the liver. Now the question they can ask you, which is the enzyme by which isoniazid is active or produce effect in the body? Again the answer is CYP3A4. So this can be the another question in the GPAT, because this enzyme is utilized by isoniazid. Now you know that isoniazid, this reduce the effect of this enzyme. This question can be, what are the inhibitor of the CYP3A4? Again this is the right answer, that this is inhibited by this drug. What are the inducers of CYP3A4? So phenobarbital and phenytoin, they are the inducers of CYP3A4. So you always remember this question. Fourth question is, bacteria that grow at a temperature as high as 50 to 80 degrees centigrade. So here that can be 50 to 80 degree, because many of the bacteria cannot survive above than 45 degree. So they are known as, examples are psychrophiles, mesophiles, thermophiles and auxotrophs. So you can choose the right answer for this question, that what are the bacteria which can survive at a higher temperature. So the right option for this question is thermophiles. So you know there are some bacteria which are present in the oceans, and these bacteria present in the oceans, they can survive at a higher temperature, even though more than 80 degrees centigrade. Right option is thermophiles. So this is a new trick, diuretic classification or diuretic group, or how to remember diuretic agent. You can remember it by the name of control. So because basically you know that they control your hypertension, they control your blood pressure, they control your hydration, water level in the body. So only remember the name of control. So C indicate carbonic anhydrase inhibitor, O indicate osmotic diuretic which act by process of osmosis, N indicates sodium channel blocker which block the sodium channel, T indicate thiazides or chlorothiazides, hydrochlorothiazides. Renal L indicate aldosterone inhibitors, spironolactone, and L indicate loop diuretics. So furosemide, toracimide, like that. So this you can remember that what are the drug by the trick of control. So this is very useful. These are the agents which are used as a cardioprotective, as a antihypertensive to reduce the blood pressure by various mechanisms. So they act on the sodium, potassium, co-transporter, symporter, like that. So ultimate their aim is sodium excretion. Now here the another question that can be asked to you, that what are the diuretic which are responsible for the calcium stone formation. The basic thing is thiazide. So what are the diuretic which are responsible for the potassium loss, that is loop diuretic. Or what are the diuretic which are excessively cause hyponatremia, hypokalemia, again they are loop diuretics. So loop diuretic they are called as a Lasix. So last 6 mean their action is last for 6 hours. They are called as a loop diuretic. They act on the loop of Henle, and they are called as a diuretic where there is a some drawback cause hyponatremia and hypokalemia. So excessive sodium and potassium loss from the body side. So this is the trick you can remember. Next question is, which one of the following drug is considered to be the agent of choice for anaphylactic reaction? Options are adrophonium, ipratropium, bromide, ambinomium, ambinonium, and propantheline. So you choose the right answer for this question. In case of anaphylactic reaction, which one you will choose the right answer? The right answer is ipratropium bromide. So you know that this ipratropium bromide is a anticholinergic agent. First thing, question in the GPAT can be which one from this is a anticholinergic with a high potency, is a ipratropium bromide. The second question in the GPAT can be if there is a toxicity with the ipratropium bromide, what will be the antidote? So atropine is the antidote. So you can remember it always. Atropine is a antidote for the overdose of ipratropium bromide. Next question is, glomerular filtration of a drug is affected by, options are lipid solubility, plasma protein binding, degree of ionization, and rate of tubular secretion. You choose the right answer. The right answer is plasma protein binding. So I will tell you one thing. The drug which are lipophilic, they are having high plasma protein binding intensity. First thing you can remember for the GPAT, the drugs are benzodiazepine, then followed by barbiturates, then followed by other antidepressants. These are having a high plasma protein binding, and what are low? These are the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents, low plasma protein binding, because they are lipophilic, they are hydrophilic. So you always remember, drug with the more lipophilicity, more bind with the plasma protein, and more time will be retained in the body, and there will be a less glomerular filtration rate. So this is the reason for this question. Alpha methyl dopa, options are, is a ineffective when given orally, decrease serum prolactin level, invaluable in patient with compromised renal erection, renal function, causes troublesome postural hypotension. So the right option for this is, so you know that alpha methyl dopa is a centrally acting antihypertensive agent. So is valuable in patient with compromised renal function. Why it is valuable, why it is useful? The reason is, whenever you give a alpha methyl dopa to renal compromised patient, it increase the excretion of fluid with drugs. So that means it little bit improve the, reduce the vascular resistance. So the resistance of fluid in the kidney is reduced. So if the question can be, which drug among the following, like clonidine, methyl dopa, and you know that there can be carbidopa or other option can be there, which drug reduce the vascular resistance in the afferent arteriole of the kidney? Option is alpha methyl dopa. Next question is, which one of the following diuretic would be more useful in the patient with cerebral edema? Options are acetazolamide, amiloride, ethacrenic acid, and mannitol. You choose the right answer for cerebral edema. The right answer is mannitol. So why we use mannitol? Firstly, the question can be, why other drugs are not preferred if they enlist here? Because they never cross the blood-brain barrier. The second thing, why mannitol? Because it is a sugar component. It contains a glucose. It easily cross the blood-brain barrier and there increase the pressure in the cranium. By increasing the pressure, it cause outflux of the fluid. So it means it cause excessive filtration of fluid from the cerebrum toward periphery, from the kidney toward outside. So that's why this mannitol is preferable agent, even though it can be there. Which drug is more preferred in case of increased heart rate or hypertension in small children? Again, answer is mannitol. So this is a safe. Which one of the following has longest half-life of all antiarrhythmic agent? The options are adenosine, amiodarone, disopyramide, and esmolol. You choose the right answer. We having a longest half-life. Option is amiodarone. So you always remember that amiodarone is having a half-life of 60 days. So it means approximate 50 to 60 days this drug is retained in your body. So that's why amiodarone is one of the category of antiarrhythmic agent with the highest or longest half-life. So you remember this always. Next question is, thiamine is a vitamin B6, B2, B1 or B9. You remember this because thiamine is a, right option is vitamin B1, B complex category. Other question can be, B1 is a fat soluble or a water soluble vitamin? It is a water soluble vitamin. So another option can be, which is called as a vitamin B9. So remember this, folic acid is called as a vitamin B9. So this is the right option for thiamine. So this is the another trick. Aminoglycoside common properties, common characteristics. You can remember it, I am on duty. So I indicate inhibit 30S subunit of ribosome, that means it inhibit the protein synthesis. A indicate active against aerobic gram-negative bacteria. M indicate modify enzymes and produce resistance. So chances of resistance with aminoglycoside are more. O indicate ototoxic, or instead it is a vestibular toxic. N indicate nephrotoxic, and D indicate damage to the kidney. So you remember in the short form, I am on duty. So this is on duty for the aminoglycoside. So this is a very useful trick for you all. You can remember. So you are welcome to SSB Pharma Learning channel. You like, watch, share, subscribe the channel, and in the coming time I will share with you more basic concept as well as useful information for your GPAT exam. You are welcome. Thank you very much.